ratio is 30%, the lender underwriter will be like, oh, let's make it 40%. But in my mind, I know it's like 50, 55%. But it's okay. Let the underwriter do it, right?
Yeah.
So because they want to see that DSCR 1.25. And the underwriters do something called stress tests. So what they do is they increase the interest rate and they decrease the amortization to increase the monthly loan payment. So it stresses the DSCR more in case something happens, right?
Yeah.
And something always happens, right? Like when I take over apartment complex, I always have like my 26 unit. I think I only had 2 vacant. The first month I took over, 5 tenants stopped paying me, and they left. Right? That's gonna happen. It happened on all my deal, on my 26 unit, my 20 unit, my mobile home park. Same thing every time. When you buy your first apartment complex, it's gonna happen to you too.
Oh my God.
As long as you know in advance.
Yeah.
Right?
So how much reserve? My next question would be, how much in reserve do you need to have before you go into the deal to make you feel comfortable? I guess and then my other question is that since you touched on the tax thing, taxes is another thing. How do you set up all these entities? Do you have each one company LLC for each deal, or how's that structure?
Yeah. So I have a video talking about my asset protection plan.
You already have all the videos of
I have like 250 videos. But like I said, so basically I'm a little more, I mean, you're pretty advanced too, I'd say, but I have a holding company.
You think so? Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah, no, like I was literally in your shoes in like 2021. And literally in 2021, I bought 2 apartment complexes in a mobile park in a year. So I was literally sitting where you were at, like laid off from my day job, the high income W-2 job, and I bought 2 apartment complexes in a mobile home park. Like that's why I tell people who like hop on, like I'm not that much further than you guys. Like I sound impressive, 90 units, but literally I was just where you were like 2 years ago. Right. So, I mean, it's doable. I'm living proof. Right. And I saw a bunch of people doing what I was doing and buying apartment complexes too. People just like me and you. Like I just work a regular W-2 just like you. Right. I'm nothing special. But I just took action and, my real estate compounded. Right. So, I kind of did that. So basically I have a holding company and then that owns an LLC, which then owns my real estate. So each apartment complex, well, you kind of have to diversify. So in California, for every LLC that you own, you pay the franchise tax for $800 a year.
Yeah.
It's annoying. So what I try to do is like I have a very high equity single family home that's in its own LLC. My other single family homes have less equity. They're all clustered in one, and each of my apartments are in their own LLCs because apartments are more high risk.
Yeah. Of course.
Right, especially if I'm renovating these apartments, they're very high risk.
Yeah.
But what I do is once the apartments are stabilized, I consolidate my LLCs. Right, so I have a 26 unit and a 20 unit, separate LLCs. I finished renovating my 20 unit. When I did my refinance with the new loan, I put it in the same LLC as my 20 unit. So that way you kind of consolidate your
LLCs. What's the reason behind when you do that?
Well, it just gets too complicated, like to own too many LLCs, and I just didn't like paying the franchise tax board like $800 a month or a year.
Yeah.
And it just
you have like a kind of an org chart of how you structure.
I do have an org chart, and I in the video you watch, I drew it out. I literally drew out my asset protection plan. So I have my living trust owns my holding company. That holding company owns like 5 LLCs, which owns all my real estate. Right. So you want to diversify your risk, but be cognizant of California, that 800, because every time tax season comes, I own like 8 LLCs. That's $6,400.
Yeah.
Right. And then like in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I owned a 50 unit apartment complex, that's 1 LLC. So if I combine my 20, my 26 unit, it's 50 units. And then you can actually put both of your apartment complexes under 1 loan down the road. And it's easier.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, actually. Once I refinance my 20 unit and 26 unit again, when interest rates drop, I'm going to put them in under 1 loan, cluster them together. It's lower risk for the lender because it's 2 apartments in 1.
Yeah.
So they'll give you a big loan on 1 property. It's easier. Right?
So I think it's just that by that time, it's more like then you have a relationship with your lender. It's like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Is it possible? It's just more like personalized type of thing. I think when it comes to, those situations. But I think in my mind, just like, how do you get it started? How do you even find these deals, right? And it's like, like you said, having a mentor is right, but then it's like also having the connection in the area that you want to go in. It's also right. Like, I mean, you pick Oklahoma City, it's at the lower price point. Like there's no way to start anywhere in California unless it's like Central California that like get, multiple units. I mean, I'm just saying like initially, like maybe like a apartment complex, like 5 units. Like, how do you even find that? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
broker, agent, like what? Where do you find
for
that?
me, I chose Oklahoma because, like I said, I bought, just my 2016. I bought for $500,000. It appraised at $750K,
Yeah.
and I can double my rents after renovation. After putting about $300,000 to renovate everything, new roof, all units renovated. So I'm all in for 800,000, right? But if I double my rents, what do I do for the value? I double my NOI. I double my rents. I double my NOI.
Yeah.
What happened to my property value? It
That will
doubles.
go up. Yeah.
So it's going to be worth 1.5 million when I'm done with it, and I'm almost done. Right? I have 2 more units left to renovate. Right? So I'm
Did
getting.
you partner up with anybody else, or it just all you? Would
Just
you
all
look
me.
into partner up with other people to do bigger deals, or from your networking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pharmacist by nature. I'm very skeptical, so I want to do things by myself first. Because like to me, I'm like I'd rather own 20 units by myself versus 100 units and own a small piece of it and have to like deal with like other partners and investors.
Yeah.
So because of that, I kind of shied away from partnering. But think about it now. Like, okay, I finished my 2016, my 20 unit. I know I have property management in place. I have a general contractor in place. I know the rent. I know the area. If I get a 100-unit apartment complex, I could easily raise money. Right?
Yeah.
Because I literally said, hey, like this 100-unit is 5 miles away from my 26 unit. I know the rents are $700 to $750. I know this is how much we're going to renovate. I have a renovation team already. I have a property manager right here already. Easy.
Yeah.
And I have a proven track record where I doubled the value of my 26 unit. Who wouldn't want to give money with me? Right? So I thought about it, but like right now, it doesn't make sense until my portfolio is stabilized. So I'm almost there, right? I just refinanced my 20 unit, my 26 unit. I have about 5 vacant units that I need to rent out. So, I'm getting about 13K gross right now. Cash flowing about 4K a month. And I have 5 more units that I can rent out for $700 each. That's another $3,500.
Yeah.
That's all profit. So once that's rented out, what is that? Like almost $8,000 in cash flow net. And I still have 2 more units that I need to like renovate.
Well, how much that is minus everything for the loan?
Yeah. My loan's only $1,900.
Oh, wow. Did you have because of the fact that you got it for
I bought it for $500,000, put 25% down, right? So so that's my loan's only $390K. So
that's amazing.
So think about it. It's at 13K now. When it's fully leased up, I'm 18K.
Yeah.
Right. And after all my expense being conservative, let's just say it's 10K. Right. So that's 8K net. That replaces my W-2.
Yeah.
I don't need to work. Right. That replaces most W-2s. So that's just one property.
That's just one property. That's amazing. Right.
And then think about my loan is so low at 390. If I took my excess cash flow, I can pay down that loan.
Yeah.
10K a year, 10K a month. That's 120K a year, 3 years. I can pay off my apartment, own an asset that grosses 18K. And keep in mind, I'm raising rents a little bit every year. So maybe it'll be 19K. I'm grossing 19K without a loan on it. That's
only if you can find a 20 unit, 20 or 26 for 500. I think that's a magic math right there.
Yeah.
And you're able to find that deal, that one deal, be able to, have that. I guess
So that's the hack, right? Like, I got 2. My 20 unit was only 350K. I bought my 20 unit for $350K. That's cheaper than a condo in California, right? So like, imagine, that's what I thought about. I used to be all about leverage. I'm like, oh my God, my loans are so small. Like I can literally take my excess cash flow if I don't mind working extra, just pay down that one property in like 3 years. And then once that's paid off, take that extra cash flow, pay off my another apartment complex. Now I own
Free and clear.
46 units free and clear, and they're grossing $30K a month.
Yeah.
Right. And let's just say my expenses maybe $15K.
Mhm.
I'm netting $15K a month for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Question. I thought I asked it, but I felt like we didn't answer. How much reserved? I'm just trying to do my math, right? Even if I can find that one unicorn deal, how much of a reserve that you need to have for you to feel comfortable? I'm just asking, like, from no experience to, like, for you, like, you know, you have done this, you know, in terms of, you know, need to start saving to be comfortable in these deals, like kind of where.
Yeah. So, mine were value add deals. So, obviously I need a lot of money for renovation.
Yeah.
And I funded the renovation cost myself. So like I said, I spent 300,000 for, I budgeted 200,000 for renovation. My actual renovation cost was 300,000.
Oh my gosh.
For some context. So whatever you think you need for renovation, increase it by at least 25%
Mm-hmm.
to 30%. And you can have reserves in terms of lines of credits, right? So that's why I love getting HELOCs on my investment properties with high equity. That's what I did. So when interest rates dropped, I stripped a lot of equity out of my single family homes. But the downside is my loan's bigger and my properties are not going to cash flow as well, right? Because I max leveraged it. I borrowed like a bunch of money at like 3% interest. And now I'm using that to buy apartment complexes, right? Right now interest rates are not as great, but you can still pull a HELOC on your investment properties. It's an investment HELOC. Terms are not going to be as good. It might be like, 9%, but it's better than a hard money loan. And it's a good emergency reserve, right? Like for me, so my example, I put down 25%, right? So I needed to put down 120K for my 26 unit, I bought for $500,000. I negotiated 60K in seller repair credit. So that cut my down payment in half.
Okay.
So I only down 60K. So I actually bought my 26 unit with 12% down after the seller repair credit. That's less than single family homes, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I had $200,000 allocated for renovation, but my renovation cost actually went to $300,000.
Yeah.
So you do the math there. That's at least close to 350 to 400K.
Yeah.
Right. And then even on top of that, I still have lines of credits as backups. So you can take a line of credit. If you're in tech and you work for Google, you can take a line of credit against your stock portfolio. With Charles Schwab, that's what I do. Right. So if I have let's say $100,000 in stocks, you can take a line of credit against it up to 70%, up to 70K. And I use that as just for like, in case I need it. But on top of that, I try to this is me personally. I try to keep at least $200,000 in my bank account at all times, just for a rainy day, because I don't want to be stressed about it. But I'll be honest, I renovated 90 units, and all renovations went over budget. So guess what happened to my reserve of 200,000? I used it all up, and I'm dipping into lines of credit now, right? And it's a little more stressful because now I'm dipping into lines of credits, and that's what kind of led me to selling my mobile home. I'm in the process of selling my mobile home park now because I just said, you know what, I want to double down on apartments. Mobile home parks, a lot more work, a lot more energy, a lot more effort and time. I'm better at apartments and mobile, so I'm trying to sell it, get back some of my money, and keep that as a reserve for my apartments, and then also to buy more apartments later down the road, right? So, I kind of scaled too fast. That was a mistake I made. There's a video of me talking about that, but I
think my experience with just getting 2009 and then getting 5 years, like for me, I'm like the slow crawling, and I like to see some more return before I would let's go, like it's like a high to keep getting another. Like I know it is exciting, but for me, I think I need to see more return. Like for me to see at least a year of like, okay, is this really like 8Ks coming cash flow every year? Let me just like see how it is first.
Yeah,
Type of person.
No,
So like
that
I know a lot of people like, online real estate, like they're just so, you know, like this is what we do, wanted to hurry up and get like financial free. Like I love my job. It's not like anytime soon that we were gonna quit like our W-2, but it's just nice to have that experience, if you will. So that's kind of
no,
where I'm.
I'm glad you shared that, because that basically, by you saying that, I know you're going to be successful in real estate, because I hated my W-2 after I got laid off.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, for good reason, right? Like I put so much into it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why'd you lay me off? Like I'm more qualified than my counterpart. But
And
hey,
whoever that stay there, who are they?
yeah. But like at the end of the day, laying people off is like throwing darts at a board, right? Like just because you're good, it's just right, wrong time, wrong place, whatever, right? You get laid off. So I had a really disdain for pharmacy. I'm like, dude, I poured like so much effort into like getting extra degrees, certifications. I did everything correctly. And I was the one who got laid off, right? And it was like so discouraging. So I said, you know what? Screw this job. I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna buy as much real estate as possible so I can retire from my W-2.
Yeah.
But because of that, I went too fast and made mistakes, right? And it sounds cool to say on YouTube, right? Like, oh, I bought 80 units in 8 months. And if you listen to my story, I had 2 more deals actually under contract in that 8 months window that fell out due to due diligence. But had I bought them, I would have had like 150 in 8 months. But like, because for me, I scaled so fast. If I made a mistake on one apartment complex, it affects, or make a mistake on one unit, it affects 90 units.
Yeah.
Right. So
How do you get people to design like side talk, right? Like how do you get people to design, or you just do everything? Like everything is a cookie cutter for those 20.
Copy. If you look at all my apartment complexes, it's copy and paste. Same LVP floor, right?
Yeah.
Neutral color, light gray. Paint your walls white, light gray. Kitchen cabinets, white, light gray. Like everything is just very neutral tone. And you can talk to the general contractor, say, hey, like what's popular in that area? Right? Like all I care is it cheap? Is it durable? And does it look modern?
Yeah.
If you hit those 3, I don't care. And LVP flooring hits all 3, right? It's very modern. It's very inexpensive. White paint. And then if you buy in bulk, that's how you save money. But kind of back to my last point, like I kind of wish I did what you did, where like a lot of people come to me and say, Steven, I want to do what you did. I want to buy 100 units in a year. I was like, no, don't. I want to do it again, because you want to know what it's like to own apartment complexes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I may not even like Oklahoma City, right? And I bought like literally 2 apartment complexes there, and I bought a mobile home park.
Are you ready to move there? Like I would just like, that's why I think I'm still trying to find my market. Love to talk to you more in terms of like what number makes sense, and in that regards, like, but I think I would like to do more homework, crunch some numbers, and like, I mean, I would love, for me, like I would love to get one deal next year and just kind of run it and see how it is. Like work with a property manager, kind of forget about that's what I do, and real quick, and then see how it does, and see what options do I have in terms of refinancing, and then how much equity I'll be sitting on it, and then reevaluate. I think that's just what I wanted to do. And
it's actually the smartest method to do it, because there's more guys in real estate than girls, but to be honest, the girls in real estate are better.
You think so?
True, because the way your approach is very conservative, right? It's just like, okay, I want to buy one. I want to see what it's like to own it for like a year or 2. If I don't like it, great, I only have one, right? But if I do like it, then I have assistance in place to buy another one. So that's why I'm slowing down. I haven't bought anything in like 13 months. No, like 15 months, because I'm trying to stabilize, and I'm trying to actually sell one of my mobile home parks, because during my pause, that's when I realized, you know what, I went too fast. I don't actually like mobile home park as much as I thought I would. That's why I'm selling it, right? And then apartments, I've owned one for 2 years and one for about a year, and I don't even know yet, like, do I like these? Maybe I don't like these. Maybe I just want to sell them and 1031 exchange these into something else, right? So like even I'm trying to experience it. But yeah, I think for you, like the key is just to like look in your market. Just start analyzing deals. What was that? Would
you recommend Oklahoma City?
I mean, a lot of people that talk to me end up going to Oklahoma City because I'm there. But like I said, it just really depends. Like I have like, I think 2 of my core students are trying to target or two of my mentorship are targeting Oklahoma City right now. But I just say like, you know, wherever you feel comfortable investing in, and you have like systems in place. And it's okay. Like for me, I was looking in Alabama, Tennessee. I looked in my backyard. Like I'm in Southern California, so I was looking in like, you know, San Bernardino area, like, you know, in your area, Central California, like Fresno, Modesto, Salinas, like, you know, you kind of like more like renter markets.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just like, where do you have good property management? Like you could get a 5-unit apartment complex in like Sac or something, you know, it's like a little more affordable.
Yeah.
Compared to like, you know, the Bay Area. So it just really depends, like, you know, where you want to go. And I might eventually want to come back to California. I don't know. Like I may.
You mean like Northern California, the Bay Area?
I mean, like just buying apartments in California.
Oh, buying an apartment. Got it.
Yeah, because like, dude, there's so much demand here, right?
Yeah.
Like literally in Southern
California.
California.
It is a renter. I mean, but see, the thing is, the house, how much a house is selling for, you can't really just buy one to rent. I think the one that are renting now, it's the people that have bought it and like, oh, doesn't make sense. Well, I'm sitting on so much equity, so I'm not going to sell. I think that's part of the reason why there's an inventory issue, because the people, it's such a renter's market, and it would only make sense if you bought it this time, like this many years ago, to rent it out. And those people would never get, like for me, why would I give up what I'm owing? Because I have so much equity. It's gonna cash flow. I'm paying literally nothing every month for the mortgage. Like it's like free money from the bank. And it's so much opportunity for me to just, you know, HELOC, do whatever that I needed to, my, you know, backup. So I think that's the market, but yeah.
Interest rates probably low too, right? All my interest rates are like sub 3. Like I'm sitting good too, right? I mean, I don't cash flow as well because, you know, I bought it a little later, but we might be talking 10 years and you'd be like, oh, I wish I bought in 2023, right? Like if things double again, right? So it's hard to predict. Like like everyone looks back and be like, oh, I wish I bought more in like 2009.
Seriously, I wish I bought 2 of these instead of, I was like, what was I thinking? Why didn't I buy another one? Because back then it was so risky because nobody was touching real estate. And here I am, like fresh off, drop out, you know, pharmacy school. I was like, got my first job. Let me just buy something.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, but, you know, like over time it's done well, right? Like over the past 10 years. So
I just kind of forgot about real estate for a while. I was like, oh yeah, good. And then come back to it. Like, I think it comes in waves. Like I kind of educate myself throughout the year. What does it entail? How do you even, like, you know, the process? I think now just more like, okay, what cash flow, what makes sense? Multifamily is really where I want to be, but do I want to step into that water? I think that's kind of what it is. I have 2 last questions. I know we're kind of at the hour. For newbies or someone that never done it before, what's the step 1 that I should do? And what's the software that you would recommend, like, learn about, you know, for specifically multifamily?
Yeah. So the first step that you should do is just start looking at LoopNet in multiple markets and just start analyzing those deals.
Okay.
Assuming 25% down, and your interest rate's probably gonna be 7.5 to 8, probably 8 at this point. And then amortize that loan over 30 years.
Okay.
Right. And then just get familiar with that multiple markets. And you know, I'm slightly biased, but yeah, you can like check out my YouTube channel. I have so many videos talking about it. You know, I do have a course mentorship. It's the same thing as my YouTube videos, but it's just more structured and it's just more in order. Like, you know, this time I was just talking off the top of my head. The actual mentorship, it's like just more structured. So if you like kind of like lecture-based style, it's a little more organized. But the key is like just start researching multiple markets and like pick markets where I have this Excel sheet that is in the program, but it's just basically like, okay, where is your job growth or where's your population growth? Yeah. Is their crime index okay?
Yeah.
There's a website called city-data.com. City-data.com, and you can just start looking up cities, right? And researching them. And then from there, you know, just start understanding markets. Like for me, I underwrote so many deals. I knew when I was buying Oklahoma City, it's $50K per door. So if it's 20 doors, it should be worth 1 million, right? So the first step is literally just go on LoopNet, start analyzing deals, just start calling and talking to brokers. They're probably not gonna take you seriously, but the point of it is just to learn. Like you're not gonna, they're not gonna take you seriously, but just like learn about it. And then, if you're really that serious about buying, then, obviously, like for me, when I was in buy mode, I was sending out 300 letters a month, and I was probably making offers on all properties that people would contact me. I'd make offers that make sense for me.
Yeah.
They may not like my offer, but I just wanted to be known as that person to say, hey, Angela, I'm gonna make an offer on your 20-unit apartment complex. I'll write you an offer in 2 days. And I'm the guy who will deliver an offer in 2 days, whether you like it or not. But the key is I kept my word, and they remember that. Because they may not want to sell today, but in 3 years, they might want to sell. Right? Or it's mom and pop, they're 60 years old, they want to retire, and they remember you. So it's really about creating the relationships, right, with people. So like the hack that I was going to kind of tell you, or the secret sauce is when you send out letters and talk to these owners, the secret sauce is don't even ask about their property. Ask how they built their business. Because real estate's a business, right? You want to learn how I bought my properties. You want to learn how I scaled my portfolio because I want to be just like you, right? Right? Like you own this property 30. I want to be like you. How'd you do it? And they'll tell you how they did it, and that's how you're gonna use their strategy to buy their property, right? And you felt like they taught you, and they felt like they mentored you. So that's how you get the free education, right? That's how I was taught too. Like I joined the mentorship, spent like a lot of money, listened to a lot of podcasts like Bigger Pockets, but I honestly learned more just by like analyzing deals, talking to brokers, talking to owners, talking to lenders, talking to property managers, talking to general contractors.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's how I based my whole course. Mine is just based on my experience. Like this is literally what I did, what I learned, and I condensed it. And honestly, like at this stage for me, like I listen to podcasts, like I don't learn anything from it for the most part. It's just like very high level. They're just trying to get you excited to buy real estate, but they don't give you the nitty gritty details, right?
I'm getting there. I feel what I listened to read so many books, so many different
stuff
deals
over and over, right?
And it's like unless there is like an actual deal in front of me, then it's like, okay, that wouldn't make sense for me though. Like all that theory, it's like going to school. All that would work, but it's like almost like if there's a patient in front of you, what do you tell them, right? It's like that, and it's like very customized.
What kind of helped me was like, or my students was like, they would like analyze deals and like run it by me, and I'll just be like, like this is what's gonna happen, right? You're literally gonna underwrite it. The moment you close on it, people are gonna like put maintenance requests in. Some tenants are not gonna stop paying you; they're gonna leave, and then whatever cash flow you underwrote is gonna be zero or negative. So have reserves, right? So it's just really, and then understanding the context. Like my mentor, what I didn't like about him was like he just would like pressure, like leverage everything to the hill and pour everything into multifamily. And that's good, right? Like definitely you should go 100% all in, but that's not for everybody, right? Like I may not want to sell. You probably don't want to sell. There's other ways to do it, right? And then, so it just really requires that knowledge, taking consistent action, but then like just running it by people who are like literally like a step or two ahead of you. Because like for me, I'm actively doing deals, right? A lot of the gurus, they did deals a long time ago. They're not actively doing it. I literally just finished a cash out refinance like a month ago. So I'm very fresh on cash out refinances, right? I'm literally in the process of a mobile park. So I'm in the process. I'm very fresh on that. I'm literally renovating like just this month, I renovated like 5 units. Like I'm literally in the weed. I evicted 2 tenants this month too.
Oh wow!
No, like I
you're like having all the templates that are ready to go.
Like I literally, dude, I'm doing everything. I'm like, I don't even have to like look it up. I just tell you this is what I'm doing, right? So like that's all it is. Like it just is that. It's not a new. It's not. I'm not making it up. It's just something I'm literally doing. And obviously I'm gonna make mistakes too, but it's nice too. Like my students that like own apartments do. Like I learn from them. I'm like, oh, like you're doing this, and this is what happened to you. So like it's just kind of like a little
networking, like you're
networking,
bringing all the information back to the group type of thing. So what kind of software do you use that it's like been so helpful? You should get on it and like learn about it, because there's just so much resources. It gets so overwhelming what to use. Like what is good?
Honestly, well, if you want to send like direct mail. It's just PropStream.
PropStream.
Yeah, it's just your data source to pull like the owner name and addresses and who owns the property. You know, I have like affiliate link to that. I think I have a video. Do I? I might have a video on my YouTube about PropStream or Property Radar. Those are the two. Check those videos out because I think I did a video with Property Radar and they're very similar to PropStream. And they you can kind of see what it looks like. But it's like $100 a month. So you have to be pretty like, you know, committed to like doing it.
Pretty serious.
Yeah. So like you only do it when you're more serious, but you can check out my video to at least see what it looks like as the end user. But honestly, there's like I don't really have a complicated software that I use. Like honestly, I don't even know. Like my property managers use Rent Manager for the most part, but I don't have access to that. They just email me my reports every month. But yeah, I think if you I guess go to Google Sheets, that's honestly don't overcomplicate it, right? Like I literally have many units and I just use like Google Sheets, like, oh, I spent this is for this property. This is what I did for this property. And like, you know, when I talk to my property manager on a monthly basis, I usually take notes and bullet points and on Microsoft Word and email them my notes. But I have like templates for all that stuff too. Like, oh, how do you do a weekly cadence call with like property manager? Like what metrics do you want to hit and track? So like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, honestly, if I were to give you one step, just go on LoopNet, start analyzing deals, get comfortable making offers on deals. And just like simulate in your mind, like, oh, this is why I would make this offer and be able to like defend that offer. Right. So like, you know, if you come on like
doing it as an agent for yourself too, in a way.
I underwrite deals better than agents, to be honest, and brokers. Like, watch some of my videos. I literally underwrote a deal live from a deal sent to me by a broker that was off market. Like, check out, it was one of my earlier videos, but I literally underwrote a few deals live. And sometimes like my students will bring me deals and I'll underwrite the deal live as well, just so people can learn how I do it. But very simple, right? So like there's a 3 offer method that I teach. First one is net operating income divided by market cap rate, just math, right? And then for the net operating income, assume the expense is at least 50%. Unless it's more. If the owner gives you 60%, use 60%. If the owner gives you 40%, round it up to 50%. Right? The second method is price per door. So in Oklahoma, fully renovated, price per door was $50K per unit per door. So if you have 20 units, $50K per door, that's 1 million offer. The last method is the tax assessed price. If you pull up the tax record, it's public information, right? You can Google it. And out of the 3 offers, I always hit the lowest. And guess what the lowest offers always is? It's always the tax assessed price. It's always the most offer.
Yeah.
So I always offer that, and the owner will be like, "Well, why did you offer me that?" I'm like, "Well, that's the tax assessed price. I didn't make it up."
Yeah.
Right. And but they say, "No, I don't want it. I want more." But at that point, you should know what your offer is based on your DSCR for 1.25. Right. So that's your wiggle room. That's your wiggle room. So I know what my offer is, but I know, let's just say like for my 26 unit, I knew I could probably go up to 800,000. Right.
Yeah.
But I offered $500,000, and he took it. But if you were like counter negotiate me, I probably would have went up, to be honest. Because I knew my top. So I have a 300K margin.
Yeah.
Like literally, if he wrote me a counter offer at 750, I probably would have signed it. Or maybe be like, "Oh, give me 700." And if not, I'll be like, "Okay, I'll sign it." Right. So it's just really that. But that's the thing that most students fail is like, I tell them, like, I think one of the first assignments like for people who join my mentorship is underwrite 100 deals in LoopNet,
wow.
And then tell me how many deals are good and what your offer price was for each of them and what was the listing price. But a lot of people do not do that. They don't want to put in the work, right? So, you know, the free way for you to learn is just underwrite 100 deals.
Yeah.
And then start to know your markets, right? Start to research Sacramento, like research San Leandro, Hayward, you know, anywhere like Roseville, Santa Rosa, you know, start to underwrite these markets, Salinas, whatever, right? And then just start to know like, oh, this is the price per door. And, you know, when you start getting more advanced, like I use PropStream to look up the price per door, but, you know, that's a little more advanced.
You use what? I'm sorry?
PropStream to look up sales comp.
Got it. Yeah.
So I don't think that's posted on my YouTube. one of the modules in my course. But
Good.
you know, I slowly, I have like 120 videos in the course, and I slowly send those out. So, but yeah, I would just say to get started, just do underwrite a bunch of deals and start to learn different markets, and then be able to just get in the habit of just write offers and like why defend your offer. You know,
Yeah.
if you do that, then honestly, that's the best learning you can ever do. You know, it's so simple, right? You don't need to pay someone like $15K for
Yeah.
that advice. Just literally underwrite.
Yeah.